Vayeshev, ideas in the realm of Gematria from the Parshah and for the Geulah. This is Article 9, because Vayeshev is the 9th portion in the cycle of weekly Torah readings. In this week's Parshah, we read about how Yosef was sold into slavery by his brothers and ends up being a servant of Potiphar, and how Potiphar's wife was infatuated with him to the point of wanting to commit adultery by enticing him. Yosef resisted even with great challenge, but when that fateful day came and he fled the scene, she tried to cover it up by saying that he tried to assault her. The verse in the Torah says this, in her words, "V'tidaber elav kad devarim ha'ele lemor, ba elai ha'eved ha'ivri asher heveisa lanu letzachek bi." And she told him the same thing, saying, "The Hebrew slave that you brought to us came to me to mock me." Genesis 39:17. Vayehi kaharimi koli va'ekra va'ya'azov bigdo etzli va'yanas achutza. And it happened, when I raised my voice and called out, that he left his garment beside me and fled outside. Genesis 39:18. Of course, her claims were false, but unfortunately, they were enough to have Yosef framed and thrown into a dungeon. There is an expression that she used about Yosef that we don't see again in the Torah portion until the Torah portion of Mishpatim. Exodus 21:2. This is the term Eved Ivri. Potiphar's wife called Yosef Ha-Eved Ha-Ivri, the Hebrew slave, and it only comes up again in Parshas Mishpatim, in the pasuk of Ki Signe Eved Ivri Sheish Shanim Ya'avod Uvashvi'is Yetzeh L'Chavshi Chinam. Should you buy a Hebrew slave, he shall work for 6 years, and in the 7th year he shall go out to freedom without charge. Exodus 21, verse 2. In Chazal, our sages of blessed memory, we learn of two Mashiachs, two Messiahs, as it were, Mashiach ben Yosef and Mashiach ben David. Messiah the son of Joseph and Messiah the son of David. The Talmud in Tractate Sukkah 52a tells us how Mashiach ben Yosef will die tragically, and many will mourn his death. Because of this, the Mashiach ben Yosef has come to be associated with suffering before the glorious reign of the Messiah, the son of David. What better example of someone who suffers before a glorious exaltation, which we'll see in the Parshas to come, is our Yosef HaTzadik in this week's portion, suffering the jealousy of his brothers and suffering in an Egyptian prison for a crime that he did not commit. Certainly we can see a type and a personality of Mashiach ben Yosef in Yosef himself. The realm of Gematria confirms this in a beautiful way, in that the numerical value of Eved Ivri equals 358. In fact, the numerical value of Mashiach equals exactly 358. Have a great Shabbos.